These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello, Megan Thompson with your top stories right now from ABC15 Arizona. Maryvale High School will transition to remote learning for the remainder of the week in the wake of Tuesday's tragic stabbing. It comes as we learn the victim has now been identified as 16-year-old Michael Montoya. Police tell us another teenage student attacked Montoya with a pocket knife after somehow bypassing campus weapons detectors. Despite getting immediate medical attention, Montoya died at the hospital. A motive is still being investigated. We'll be following up on this story very closely. As our team continues to push for answers in the Rebecca Baptiste murder case, one Arizona lawmaker is taking action by launching a new task force to review the state's child safety reporting laws. Baptiste died last month after being found with severe injuries. Her father and his girlfriend are both charged with murder and child abuse. State Senator Corrine Werner says the task force will be comprised of child welfare experts, law enforcement, prosecutors, and legislators, with the goal of creating reform recommendations for legislators ahead of the 2026 session. Arizona mayors are joining forces hoping to protect our share of the Colorado River and keep Arizona from running dry. 22 mayors announced a new alliance, the Coalition for Protecting Arizona's Lifeline. Western states are negotiating to divide what's left of the river. Years of drought have left the system at historic lows. The Central Arizona Project, which supplies about 40% of the valley's water, holds what's called junior rights, meaning when cuts happen, Central Arizona gets hit first and the hardest.
More than 70 million Americans contribute to their employers' 401k plans to save money for retirement. And with the Trump administration's proposed new changes, there may be more places for you to grow that cash. But they come with a warning. If you take advantage of your company's 401k retirement plan, you'll notice your money is most likely invested in a mix of stocks and bonds. However, a controversial Trump administration policy change hopes to expand those options, allowing retirement savings to be invested in private equity firms, which might include less liquid and more volatile assets like real estate or cryptocurrency.
The asset classes do have higher rate of returns, so that's a good thing. It allows you to diversify your portfolio even more, which is a good thing. But there are risks involved.
When it comes to personal finance, Chip Lupo writes about it for a living.
The volatility is much higher, and you could stand to lose a lot more in a short amount of time.
Those are the risks that have steered away many plan managers up to this point.
It's harder to see or to know what something's really worth.
Chris Noble is with a nonprofit watchdog group and sees drawbacks with private equity firms.
These funds are able to do their internal rate of return in different ways without sort of eyes on, how are they conducting the evaluation, eyes on the underlying portfolio assets, stuff that's, a lot easier to see and, disclosed when it comes to public companies.
A federal law called ERISA requires employers to act in the best fiduciary interest of their employees. And Noble says adding these uncertain assets may put them at financial risk.
When it's hard to measure the performance of certain investments, it's hard to measure, should I be paying this much in fees, for this investment management? You just are not able to get as much insight.
But that doesn't mean everyone should stay away. These types of investments can produce a much higher rate of return.
If you have a decade or two to be able to withstand in the ebbs and flows, you should probably put maybe a very small percentage, maybe 1 or 2% into some of those alternatives if you fully understand them.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group, Atlanta.
With your most accurate forecast on this Thursday, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. Temperature starting off warm in the valley at 95 degrees at 8 o'clock, 107 heating up at midday and calling for a near record high of 113. At the record for today, 114, set back 6 years ago in 2019. Now we're still holding on to the chance for a few monsoon storms later on this afternoon and this evening, kind of like we saw last night, with some potential rainfall in areas like the East and even West Valley too later on tonight into early Friday morning. But ahead of that, extreme heat continues. continues, calling for a high of 88 in Flagstaff, 90 in Heber and Shiloh, 92 in Window Rock, 101 there in Gila County. In the valley, calling for a high of 113. So the extreme heat warnings in the metro continue through at least tomorrow evening. Same for the Grand Canyon below 4,000 feet, and now through Saturday for Mojave County. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures still close to 110 for the weekend. Very promising storm chances in the valley next week, too, at 40% with cooler temperatures. Same in the high country with highs in the 70s beginning on Monday.
For the latest headlines, weather and traffic, you can always head to abc15.com or download that free ABC15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.